In today's episode, we will look at the wars between Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand and Cambodia may seem like unlikely rivals. They share cultural similarities and many aspects of their histories intertwined. But the two nations have fought each other numerous times over the past 600 years. The two countries' long history is filled with war, conquest, and colonization. But perhaps nowhere is this more apparent than in their relationship with each other. We will begin this story in the 14th century. Back then, the Khmer Empire was coming off its greatest period of expansion. At its peak, the empire stretched from modern-day Thailand to Vietnam. But by the 1300s, the empire began to decline. Why? Nobody is exactly sure. Perhaps it was the droughts or the vast public works projects that drained the empire's resources, or the increasingly powerful neighbors to the north. Whatever the case may be, the Khmer king's power was waning. This allowed the neighboring Thai peoples to establish their own kingdoms in the fertile lands of the region. One such kingdom was Ayutthaya, which would become the dominant power in the region. The Thai people were no pushovers. They were fierce warriors who were eager to conquer. Before long, they turned their sights south towards the crumbling Khmer Empire. The result was the Siamese ascendancy and the Khmer decline. The wars between the two lasted for centuries. But one battle stood out above the rest, the Battle of 1431. Back then, the king of Ayutthaya, Borom Trilokanath, set his sights on the Khmer capital of Angkor. He assembled a massive army and marched south. His goal, to conquer the Khmer and bring their king back to Ayutthaya as a prisoner. And so he did. With his army nearly 40,000 strong, the king of Ayutthaya stormed the city and took the king's son captive. Then he did something horrific. He put the captured king to death and deported the population of the city northward. It's estimated that tens of thousands of people perished on the journey. Those who survived were brought to Ayutthaya, where they were enslaved. Today, very little remains of the once great Khmer Empire. Most of their temples have been abandoned, and the empire's population has dwindled to a few million. But there is one thing that stands in the way of total collapse: the Thai. After all, the Thai people conquered the Khmer and absorbed much of their culture and religion. But the Khmer had one last trick left: the French. By the mid-19th century, European colonialism was at its peak. And like the Thai before them, the French saw an opportunity to conquer the weak. The French and the Thai had a somewhat amicable relationship as they were both Catholic and shared a common enemy. But the French still viewed the Thai as a lesser people and sought to keep them weak. To do this, they propped up the Cambodians as the dominant power in the region. The result was the Franco-Siamese War of 1893. The French went to war against the Thai and won easily. The war led to the loss of several provinces to the Cambodians, including Battambang, Siem Reap, and Sisophon. But despite their victory, the French couldn't control the region. So they returned control of the three provinces to the Thai. In the 1940s, Thailand briefly recaptured the provinces, but they were forced to return them to Cambodia at the end of World War II. The fighting between the two nations effectively ended here. Both sides agreed to settle their differences and focus on building their economies and modernizing their armies. Still, border disputes would continue to plague the two nations. The most famous of these disputes revolves around the Preah Vihear Temple. It sits atop a cliff overlooking the Thai-Cambodian border. Both nations claim the temple as their own. Over the years, the temple has changed hands numerous times, leading to fighting between the two nations. In 1962, the International Court of Justice ruled that the temple belonged to Cambodia. This ruling was supposed to settle the matter, but in 2008, fighting erupted once again. The fighting between the two nations became some of the worst in the region. Thousands of soldiers and even more civilians perished during the conflict. Finally, in 2013, the court ruled that the temple belonged to Cambodia. This should have ended the conflict. But like before, The fighting flared up once again in 2025. Thousands have been displaced and the fighting continues to this day. So what is the solution? Like many regional conflicts, this one is more complicated than it appears. On the surface, it's a fight over land. But underneath that is a bitter rivalry that has existed for centuries. Many in Cambodia view the Thai as oppressors who stole their land and culture. For their part, the Thai see themselves as liberators who freed the Khmer from centuries of oppression. So long as these feelings persist, peace between the two nations will remain elusive. Now let's take a look at some recent events in Cambodia. The Cambodian Mine Action Center announced that it had successfully cleared over 15,000 landmines and unexploded bombs from various provinces across the country. Cambodia is one of the most heavily mined countries in the world due to decades of conflict and civil war. The removal of these mines is crucial for the safety of local communities and for development projects. If left unaddressed, landmines pose a significant threat to civilians, hindering agricultural activities and hampering economic growth. The clearance efforts are part of a broader initiative to make Cambodia free of landmines by 2025. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. Now if you want to know more about what's happening in Asia, don't forget to subscribe.